Hey guys, Rich Lopez with the Drop Time Traditions podcast. There's no episode number here. I'm just doing another drop narrative. I got ghosted tonight by an AI bot. And if you notice some things on my face, I got burned up in the deserts of Mexico this past week. So I'm peeling, scabbing, all that stuff. It's just wonderful. Uh, but at any rate, so what I'm going to talk about tonight, I want to acknowledge the show supporters. That's Stickbow Country Custom Arrows, Traps Feather Rests, Traditional Bowhunter Magazine, Sauk Trail Archery, StickbowSupplies.com, Whiskey City Trad Gear or WCTrad.com, Jessie Savage Blacksmith.com, TraditionalJunk.com. If you need an old bow, check them out. St. Joe River Bow Company, TheEthicalPredator.com, and StickbowHuntsMX.com, of which we are going to talk about tonight. So last week I was in Mexico. It was my second trip with them. StickbowHuntsMX.com. Awesome group. Bildo Saravia is the owner of the ranch, and the outfitters are Pancho and Fernando, and the guide is Fidel. And our ladies in the kitchen is Gabby, and Lucy. Phenomenal ladies, excellent cooks. This is a five-star combination hunt. Trust me on that. Uh, Let me go over a couple of things that you would bring, and then we'll get into the logistics. Um, when you go, you're going to need obviously a bag to carry your bow, maybe some extra limbs, and arrows. If you get a one piece, that's something different. But I used a takedown. So my case was an SKB hard case golf bag. So basically looked like a coffin. And clamshell opens up, and I loaded up. One side was arrows in a hard case, an arrow carry case, and then my takedown was in sock or a takedown bow case. And then I padded everything with clothing and whatnot, hunting clothes for the most part. Then what you'll do is you'll want to bring some things that are not readily available there. So bring lots of snacks, ramen noodles in the packets, not in the containers, but in a packet, if you will. So you can just mash it up, throw it in a bowl with some hot water, and have fun. Uh, Bars like breakfast bars, something with protein, uh, trail trail mix. Brought that. What else did we bring? Yeah, stuff that it can easily fit and just hide in your bag. Snacks because they don't have snacks other than fruit. Um, Definitely bring your phone charger. Your phone, obviously, money. Have some cash on it. It's going to be cash. The whole thing is a cash transaction, so you're going to want to bring cash. Passport and any paperwork relative to your itinerary. Toiletries, your typical toiletries, and meds if you're taking meds. Phone charger, paramount. Headphones, paramount. Your passport, paramount. I said that earlier. What else? And lots of prayer. No, I'm just kidding. Prayer is good for the soul anyway. So the trip this year was 1250. Prices are going up next year. I do not know what they will be. Keep checking the website, stickbowhuntsmx.com. So that being said, more things to bring. A seat pad, man, saved my ass this year. One of those seats from Walmart, it's about that thick because you're sitting on folding chairs. So sitting in a folding chair for 4 hours and you have no ass, yeah, well, that's a problem. So the seat pad and a folded up shirt underneath, because it gets warm in these blinds, saved my butt paramountly. It was insane. So that's one thing to bring. Broadhead sharpener, of course. Small day pack, rubber gloves, leather gloves because a lot of thorns. Because you got to pick your way through on a blood trail or whatever. It'll protect your hands. Um, Game bags if you want to take the meat. By the way, the meat, if you take meat home, or send it home, it has to be frozen for 2 days before it gets on the plane. So, food for thought. I did not take any meat home. We ate our game there. Um, what else? Hydration bladder system. Those are always good because you can always drink water. I carried two bottles of water with me every day in my pants pockets, the side zipper pockets. There's plenty of water, cases of water there. You can probably drink the water off the tap since it's from a 300-foot well, but I just dealt with the bottled water to avoid any issues. Bring anti-diarrhea medicine just in case, you know. Uh, Eye drops. It's so damn dry there, and there's so much volcanic ash dust or just dust in the air. Yeah, you're gonna want your eyes are like a freaking mess by the end of every day. Um, what else did I bring? Oh, saline solution for your nose. It's a spray, and Vaseline. You're gonna want to lubricate your nostril and your mucous membranes every day. Last year I had profuse bloody noses. This year, I had none since using this stuff because everything was kept moist. Your nose will run. That's okay. Bring some extra napkins, tissues, whatever, handkerchief. Um, Crocs or Hey Dude shoes, the gay shoes. They're good for lounging or just walking around in the hacienda, because the work boots get a little heavy. I wear Kenetrek boots, and those suckers like Herman Munster boots, but they're made for that terrain. Um, what else? Paracord for whatever reason. Hook carabiner, always good to have. I had a carabiner with me, and that helped me hook my ass pad to my backpack. Duct tape. Duct tape is paramount because you will be using it to remove thorns from your body, in your clothing. Just double it up and pad yourself or pad your buddy. Uh, Tweezers, liquid band-aid, knee pads because you're going to be crawling. If you shoot something, you're going to be crawling. For your phone, a Spanish interpretation app. It's paramount because the guide and the cooks do not speak a lick of English. So I'm bilingual, so I was able to get away with that. But I did have to use the app a few times because I'm Puerto Rican. So Caribbean Spanish is a little different dialect wise versus Mexican Spanish. So there's that. What else do we need here? Garbage bags, big garbage bags, the big ones. Because when you get your luggage into the back of the pickup truck, the dust from the road and the volcanic dust is just gonna stick to it like glue. So you just want to cover your shit, duct tape it, and throw it in the back of the truck, and it'll be super clean by the time you get to camp. Um, what else? Thin merino wool. Oh, lifesaver because the temps are weird. Desert, it's high desert. So it's like 40 something in the mornings. And then once the sun comes up, you'll get up into well, we were there the last week of February. So it got into the mid 80s. It can get a little warm, but there were no rattlesnakes, anything. Um, they said to watch out for scorpions. I didn't see one. Um, but you just want to be mindful of your surroundings. That's important. Thin merino wool go, do it in layers because next thing you know, you're stripping. It got so hot in the blind one day that I was actually topless, nips out the whole 9 yards. It was awesome, but nothing to show for it because I'm definitely not going topless online. It'll break the screen. Um, what else do you need here? A water bottle if you don't have the hydration system. That doesn't make noise. Ziploc baggies, just for the sake of having Ziploc baggies, put little gear and stuff in there so it doesn't go all around when you're traveling. Small tripod for photos, hero photos. Yes. Um, Slim Jims again, and back to the snacks. Slim Jims, beef jerky, hard candy. They're great. I had lifesavers and I had some jerky, and I had the mini Slim Jims. They were cool. Um, what else? Oh, a multi tool. That's always good to have. String tracker. My buddy Patrick, who was with us. He recommends seriously a string tracker because he shot a couple pigs and they took off into the bush. And without that string tracker, he couldn't get a good direction because they did not bleed a lot. They don't bleed a lot. So um, that's one thing. Couple of packs of equal if you like sweetener in your coffee. Uh, Walkie talkies. Let's talk about that. They had 5 mile range walkie talkies there. I recommend 15 mile because I was at least 12 miles away from my guys and they could not hear me on my walkie talkie that I was using. So bring your own. Handheld GPS, walking stick if you tend to have balance issues. That's always a thing. The ranch owner's name is Bildo Saravia. Um, some of the stands there, one was called Freiley. Uh, that was nice. Reyes, that's like you got to walk through this like volcanic field, if you will, and around a corner there'd be a ground blind. So there's that. I did take a shit between two rocks at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning while I was there. There's a thing called a noisy blind, which they fixed. That's my favorite blind. Uh, Outhouse, looks like a shed, if you will, with aluminum siding, and the floor is oil canning. So I told them, you need to put some plywood on top of that, and they did. So it's totally quieted down now. There's a blind near the hacienda called Casa de Jerry. Uh, that's our buddy Jerry that was with us last year. That's a good blind too. And there's one called Corrales, which was kind of dead this year, but that's where they shot the giant pig last year, giant hog, regular black hog. Uh, and then there's Laguna, which is on the other side of the property. It's a gigantic watering hole. It's basically like a lagoon. That's pretty hot right now because it's getting warm out, and as the weather temperatures increase, the animals' activity are not as consistent because they're hot and they rather feed closer to the cooler hours, which is at night. So they'll start becoming nocturnal later in the month of February. So I suggest that you go early in the month of February, maybe January, late January, to get quality action. Micah is another blind I was in, which is close to the hacienda, which is okay. There's activity, so they got feeders going off all the time. So your guide will tell you where the action is. Um, as far as food goes, the food is excellent. They serve traditional Mexican food, barbacoa, chicharrones, abodegas, mole, cowboy soup, um, jugo de Jamaica. That's hibiscus flowers that they break down into a juice every day. It's very good for you holistically. It's good for the skin, good for everything. Of course, quesadillas. If you're not into that stuff, you might want to, like I said earlier, bring the ramen noodles or other things that you can quickly make. Um, so what happens here is, American Airlines is pretty much the only airline that services the Durango International Airport. So when you book your flight, make sure you choose Durango International Airport. Do not choose Durango, Colorado, or you're screwed. There's that. So technically, wherever the heck you're coming from, like me, I'm coming from Orlando. So I've got Orlando to Dallas, Fort Worth, and you probably have maybe half an hour to an hour layover, which is okay because it's so big. You could probably put Dallas Airport is about the size of New York. It's humongous. So you have to take a train to get to your gate. The trains move quick. So once you get into your gate, once you land, go upstairs and grab the train. Takes you all around to the gates. That's where you'll find your connecting flight. Once you get on that, it'll take you, get on the flight, and you will arrive in Durango, Mexico. Probably around midday, lunchtime. You will be greeted by the state police, the federal police, and airport security. So they're all carrying automatic weapons. So do not pull your phone out to take pictures because they will jump on your ass. Um, I saw a guy pull his phone out and I was like, holy shit. They were on him like white on rice. Do not do that. I'm here to tell you, it's not a good thing. Um, just be compliant. Just nod, smile. Yes. See. You know what I'm saying? Play stupid. Um, bows and arrows are not considered weapons. They are considered sporting equipment. So they're going to give you a piece of paper to fill out for the customs. Declaring blah. It's going to ask you questions. When it comes to do you bring any weapons? Say no. Once it gets in through customs there, and the guys, the police are checking stuff. They're going to open your bag and they're going to look at it and they're going to be like, okay, what are you doing? Yeah, I am hunting. Okay, they understand that. They're used to it now. So they take pictures of your stuff. Let them take all the pictures they want. It's just a thing for them. It's part of their protocol. They are very nice there, and they do speak some English, and they will put your stuff back together neatly. They're not like monkey handlers like the TSAs in America. They're very cool. And then once you're permitted, you got to hit this button. When you leave, the guy will show you, and then you can exit into the main airport. And waiting for you will be one of your people there from Stickball Hunts MX to greet you. And they do not have alcohol on site other than Modelo beer and mezcal. So if you drink something adult beverage wise, see if they can get you to a liquor store and obtain it there before you get to the ranch. Because once you're at the ranch, you're not coming back until it's time to go home. Cheers. Okay, so let's do that. And then you'll probably it'll probably take an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to the actual hacienda because you're going to drive on the main highway, and then you're going to go through a checkpoint security. Checkpoint Charlie's there, dude. The guy's serious. Body armor, schmega, whatever that wrap they wear. 308, AR-15. I don't know, whatever. He's got his hand. It's there. They're looking for guns. They're not looking for guns and drugs. That's it. But they know the Rancho del Ojo insignia on the hood of the truck that your guy's driving. So they just wave you on. Come on, come on, come on. You're good. Thumbs up. Just smile and wave, smile and wave. And then you're on the highway for about 45 minutes, and then you hit a dirt road. So that dirt road is going to test your bladder. So if you got to piss, take it before you really go any further because it's like like the most unforgiving terrain you've ever seen in your life. And the reason why it's like that so they don't get in visitors. It deters people trafficking or anything of that nature. Uh, yeah, so that's cool. Then you'll see the entrance El Ojo. You're gonna go through a couple of towns, little pueblos, to see how the real life is there in Mexico, and it's bleak, man. People are living in these pueblos, and I mean, I don't know how they make it there. It's just I don't know what goes on. I don't know what's inside these houses. It could look like a mansion in there for all I know, but the outside, it looks pretty downtrodden because they're scratching a living off the desert, so to speak. I don't know what they do for a living. I don't know what the income is there. I don't know what uh, the jobs are. But these are really proud people. They work very hard and prideful and very religious. So respect them for sure. And then you'll finally get through the gates of Ojo. Like I said, you're just driving all those crazy roads and stuff. By the time you arrive at the hacienda, you'll be into it for about an hour and 45 minutes. And it's just a whole nother world once you arrive. Beautiful pavers. The hacienda is built into the side of a volcano. It is just magnificent. Magnificent. You just like it's almost like you went into time, somewhere in time in old Mexico, and you're at this beautiful hacienda. And everybody's there to greet you, the guide, the ladies in the kitchen. It's just wonderful. They remember me from last year, so it was just, hey man, hola, hola, hola. It was just fantastic. Like family. It was like family to me getting back together. Um, so being old as I am, there's no way in hell I'm doing bunk beds. Okay, I'm not going up top. F that. So luckily, I was able to sleep on the bottom of a bunk bed. And it was three of us this year. We had five, but there was some uh, uprising, if you will, with the cartels. So two did not come because of that. Missed them. I got the hiccups. Great. Uh, but at any rate, we were very comfortable, and we did not hunt. Well, we did not hunt the first day we got there because we didn't show up until like 1:30. That would have been an extra day. So what we did is the guide took us out on a side by side just to check things out, and we just did a little sightseeing tour, so check out the blinds and all that, and then we came back, had some dinner, had some social hour, and pretty much we're in bed by 9 o'clock. So when hunting begins on Tuesday, he's there early. He's there at like 5:15, 5:30. You don't leave generally between 6:30 and 6:45. It's a lot of pink light. The feeders don't go off till about 7:30. So you're in your blind by then. Feeder goes off, and generally the pigs or javelinas will show up about half an hour later, maybe 45 minutes. And then, take your shot, accordingly, if you can. Um, they have terrible eyesight, great sense of smell. Their hearing's okay. I mean, I made a lot of noise. They didn't even budge. They were just worried about the food. They were concentrating on the food. So there's that. I did not shoot a pig. I did not shoot a javelina this year. Just did not have the opportunity. I shot one last year, and it was perfect. And he didn't go far because I pinned him, and he just died right there. So there's that. Oh shit. Oh, okay. Anyway, every day that's the way it is, and you'll come back. You're not going to eat breakfast per se. No, there's no such thing as a traditional breakfast early in the morning. That's where your snacks come in. Eat something, breakfast bar, banana, piece of fruit, coffee, and then out the door you go. Um, what else? Oh yeah, when you come back after the morning, the ladies will cook you up incredible meal. So enjoy it. That'll be fantastic. Then you got about 2.5 hours to kill. So me, I went outside and sat in the sun, and you can see what happened to me. I got burned up. Uh, Whatever. That's the Puerto Rican in me. Uh, but it's healthy. Don't be in the sun exposed to it more than an hour. It can be detrimental. Bring sunscreen. There you go. Bring sunscreen. I did not. Uh, I'm a I like to suffer. So uh, there's that. So that's going to go on every day for about 4 days, and then the guide's going to ask you que punto, meaning what point, meaning or blind do you want to go? So you're going to want to know some of these areas, these blinds, what they're named. Okay, jot that down. Whatever you got to do. Maybe learn some basic Spanish before you go. I mean, I totally recommend that. I mean, heck, Rosetta Stone's cheap. I mean, it goes a long way because if you could speak a little Spanish, it goes a long way communication wise. I mean, I was fluent, so I was able to speak. Um, the guide is totally like nice. He's just such a cool dude, and he's a tracking machine, dude. He was picking up specks of blood that Stevie Wonder couldn't even pick up. He was amazing. His name is Fidel, and he's a super nice guy. He's only 25, but he knows his shit. Yeah. Uh, okay, tips. Let's talk about tips. I gave him 150 as a tip. He drove my ass around all over the place. The girls I gave each 120. They cooked their asses off. That's generally the tip. I did give Fidel a gift of a headlamp, a LED headlamp, super high intensity headlamp. Amazon wasn't expensive, but these things go a long way. They don't forget that stuff. And a week's pay. No, actually, the tip I gave the ladies, 120 each. That's a month's pay in Mexico. Do the math. Yeah. So these tips go a long way. Don't be a cheap piece of shit. Uh, And then when they take you to the airport, again, bag your luggage because it get full of dust, all that shit. And then you're gonna go to Durango. You're gonna check your bag with American Airlines. It's $35 one way, um, unless you do it online when you book your tickets. What else? Oh yeah, you're cool until you get to Dallas. Yeah, Dallas customs sucks ass. I'm here to tell you about that. So the U.S. customs sucks ass. So you're gonna have your picture taken like 3 or 4 times. They're gonna go through your shit. Thank God they got a universal lock. If you don't have a TSA lock on your stuff, unlock it. So that way they don't bust it out like they did my shit last year. Now they have a TSA lock for the SKB case. So I had no worries getting my stuff back. Nothing was disrupted. Nothing was stolen. Everything's cool. Do not bring gummies, guys. Uh, Anything that has THC or CBD, leave it home. Bring Benadryl if you want to take anything to help you sleep. The first night you're not going to sleep well because stranger in a strange place. After that, I slept like a damn baby. It was incredible. Um, what else? Don't drink the tap water. Just drink the bottled water they provide. Um, it'll take you an hour or so to get through TSA in Dallas, and then depending on how long your layover is, um, there's that. So the owner of the ranch has the mezcal plant there, and he's going to give you a gift of a bottle, maybe I can't. He gave us a bottle, gave us bottles, but they got confiscated because they were not in boxes or in a bag. So we had them in our backpacks, and they confiscated them. So I'm glad I didn't buy them. Unfortunately, that's the TSAs in the U.S. They suck. Pendejo, de como mierda. That's my little Spanish tirade there of cursing against them. But they suck. Mexico's great. What else? Oh, no dog. There won't be any dogs, well, because we had the government shutdown, so there was no dogs sniffing our stuff. Um, Whatever. So you'll eventually get home. It'll be late. Um, Other than that, I think all in all, it's a fun trip. It's a great trip. It's worth every penny. They are going to increase rates next year, so beware of that. Uh, if you have any questions, go on stickbowhuntsmx.com, reach out to them, ask all the questions you have. They are totally engaged and they will help you through everything. So that was my trip this past week in Mexico, Durango, Mexico, and I had a blast. It was like being with my family, and I'm coming back. I'm coming back next year. I'm taking a wife to Europe, I think. So next year's out. But that's it. I'm going to keep coming back, and um, I'm considered family now, which I'm honored and blessed. But at any rate, so let's end it there with that. But I want to show you what I'm working on here. So you guys have been seeing this stuff on Facebook for the last several weeks. Yeah, I've been working on these bear takedown risers. What a pain in the ass to get the original finish off, but I got it off one chip at a time. Stripper would not do anything because they removed all the active ingredients in strippers. OSHA did. So I'm going to wet sand these tomorrow and give them 3 more coats and they're done. Then I got to do the latches after that. So it's a dual masking process. It's a lot of work. This one I think is from like 1989. Bob Shilnack. There you go. This one belongs to Charles McCloskey. Hey, Charles. What's up, bro? Of course, I mask everything off and keep the holes sealed. So that way I can don't get any clear coat in there and mess things up. Look at this. That's a cool blonde riser, ain't it? Look at that thing. What's the serial number on that bitch? 4455, 1983. So I hope you like that. And now here I want to show you. This is some of the stuff I get that requires a lot of TLC. Da, 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 da. This is an original flocked air riser. So after a spell, the flocking breaks down chemically, which is like a rubberized fuzz finish. And that's what it looks like. It looks like vomit. Um, but this thing will be beautiful once I'm done with it. The latches have to be redone. It's an early model. That's hence the plastic bears on both latches. This will clean up nicely. Trust me. This is where I get to use chemicals. And then get it down. I'll bead blast it and then hit it with primer and then paint it, whatever color the owner decides. We're on the fence with either the green or the tan. So my favorite riser, Bear, 19 early 70s, probably 71, 72, magnesium riser. That cool? Yep. And I've got all the other stuff taken apart, took the medallion out and all that. So I have all that stuff in the shop. Well, folks, here we are. And that is the end of that. So next week, I will have a guy next week, hopefully. Yeah, I think I will. Paul Helms of Triple T Strings is my next guest. I will be recording him tomorrow, and that episode will probably drop next week. But I want to thank you all for following along. Please subscribe, like, and share on the YouTube channel. The subscriptions are everything. But I want to thank you again on behalf of the Drop Time Traditions podcast. I'm Rich Lopez. I'm your host. So thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Later. Adios, muchachos, or AMF.